I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
Right, we're back here again.
I noticed that.
Yep.
Yeah.
As you termed it on several occasions and this evening, our oasis of calm.
It really is.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah. And it's like we were discussing pre-pod, that it's very much needed this week.
It really is. And to be fair, I think even if all our good listeners went away, we'd still do this.
Yeah, we would, because, yeah, let's face it. I mean, I think from both sides this week can probably get in the sea.
Yeah, certainly can. Yeah,
Yeah.
It can all. Yeah, it really can. Yeah. Yeah. Be gone.
Yes. So actually, this is an interesting one. So today, to escape from the melee of what's going on at work, I had my lunch hour.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, that in itself is a fucking achievement at the minute. But there's a bit of car at lunchtime, which is nice, because the weather has sort of finally gone. Yeah, I'm all right.
It has been better the last couple of days, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's crucially been dry, and today there was a decent bit of sunshine.
There was
not like beating down constantly, but just nice.
Yeah.
So, in terms of therapeutic ways to spend your lunch hour, gave the car a wash.
A wash? Ooh.
Yeah.
Is this the first wash?
It is, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's not in too bad of a state, but it's the bad weather leading up to this nice couple of days has left the car a little bit grimy. Not horrific, but noticeable.
Mine is horrific.
So I suppose you've got slightly more country roads to contend with on a day-to-day basis than I do.
And the state of the roads up here, given that they are poo spreading on the fields, well, you can imagine.
Oh, just a hint of shit. Nice.
No, it's not a hint.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Mounds of it that fall off the back of machinery.
Oh,
yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes. As we know, brown is not the colour of progress, but it is the colour of the sides of my car.
Yes, if you've got some sort of farmyard animals dump being flung at you, or you've got or it's in the road and you've got no way of avoiding it.
Two-tone sport brake. Yeah.
Nice. Oh dear. Right.
How do you feel about brown wheels?
I don't know. Take us a picture. I'll let you know. It's got to be better than black wheels, isn't it?
I'll let you have that one.
It sounds like a car wash might be on your horizon then.
Yeah, it is. Yes, very much so. Yeah.
I think you might be in luck because this weather seems to be continuing into the weekend, so that'll be rather nice.
Has it?
Yeah. But yeah, mine is
give it a wash.
Clean, and it's just that little bit of just calm, because the reason being is Kaylee wasn't working today. She was home, so she had the pressure washer out to absolutely annihilate her van, because that was grubby. That needed a little bit of TLC, because that's her workhorse. It's very rare to have enough downtime to deal with it. So
indeed, very good.
Yeah, that's looking nice. You've done a nice job on that.
Very good.
Attention was then turned to the car, which she helped out enormously, and I'm very appreciative. And I just sort of dipped in and out, really, just to go, you know what, this is really nice over lunchtime. I'm outside, bit of fresh air, tinker with the car. Lovely.
It's a great way of bonding with one's vehicle as well, I find, especially when it's new to you.
Yeah. So
you get into all those little nooks and crannies.
Yeah, but that's why it was a nice little treat, because it wasn't too bad. It's just the fact that all the gear's out and lunchtime is upon us. This feels like it's the stars
Perfect.
aligning beautifully.
Perfect.
So,
yes, well done.
Mm.
And
Right.
you didn't find anything untoward?
No, it's fine.
Very good. Perfect. Good.
There was a bit of twig jammed in a seal that I couldn't get, so the pressure washer dealt with that. That was probably my most treasured moment of the whole experience. That's how shit this week has been. I've got to take the little wins and really savor them.
If that did it for you, then you take that. Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
It's one of those things. It was round the back, and it was the bit between the metal of the boot and the panel of glass that runs along the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been into the boot a few times and spotted it, and I've tried to flick it with my finger, but sausage fingers can't fit in there.
Wasn't happening.
That wasn't happening. So yeah, that was. I know it's. Oh god! I mean, this is how much we've descended this week. Again, and we're getting excited because I've pulled the twig out of the car that I couldn't.
No, let's go with it. Let's go with it. It's fine. Yeah.
That highlights how much of a pain in the arse everything around that has been.
It's good. It's good. It's nice to have something to focus on there. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, you removed some debris. Yeah,
removed some debris. The only thing that I would like to do, which depending on how the day unfolds tomorrow and how many people I want to stab, metaphorically, I'm not going on a spree. I'm just having a bad week. So.
It's good to clarify.
Yeah, just to clarify, just in case anyone's listening. No.
Don't call the police on him.
No. Merely a figure of speech. I need to get the mats out and give them a good hoover.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's always a bit of that.
There is. Yes. The rest of the interior is absolutely fine. I might go over the dash with a bit of a duster, but the mats could do with a quick brush off. There's I think a nice quick going over the hoover, and then it'll be just so again.
Yeah, mine is exactly the same. The outside's revolting, the inside maybe just a few leaves and things on the mats, but other than that we're okay. Yeah.
Crucially, didn't pressure wash any of the stickers off that I've put on, so that's nice.
No, you mustn't do that. No. Those are important.
Yep, those are important. And just as a slight gripe, towards myself, this is, and on topic of stickers, not long after Mr. Smith's launched Late Break Show, under the Late Break Show name rather than his original Car Pervert name, I signed up for his Patreon, and he sent me the VIP sticker. And I was like, so pleased with it, but never put it on the car. And I was like, wow, I've got the new car. It's going on that. Can't find the fucking sticker, can I?
Oh, you know. Right. Okay.
So there might be a message going into it, because I've checked all the places.
Johnny.
I message him on Patreon and go, so sorry, Johnny.
So sorry to trouble you.
So sorry. I've been a buffoon, you see. Yeah.
He'll understand.
Yeah, he will.
He'll understand. He's been on X this afternoon ranting about mortgages, so he'll understand.
Oh, poor man.
In that he can't get one.
I think. Well, that'll be a large portion due to his employment status.
That's not the reason he gave, actually. But
is it not?
No, it's not. Although I can't imagine that will be a help.
Well, you and I have both been through that process in a state of not conventional employment.
Let's put it like that. Yes.
And it's a process that's not easy to begin with. Throw that into the mix, and jumping off the nearest bridge does seem like an attractive option.
Not easy.
No.
Apparently he said one of his biggest hurdles at the moment is the fact that he's having to pay child maintenance to his ex-wife. They don't like that. They don't like that.
But you can't apply logic, because even if you were still in a marriage, you still have to pay for the kids.
Yes. Yeah, but they wouldn't take that into account. It's because it's not a formal arrangement. Whereas obviously maintenance payments for children to an ex-wife is a formal arrangement. and therefore it has to be included, and they don't like that.
Oh God, we have got awfully serious. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go into that. It doesn't even affect either of you or I. But
No, we've dodged that one.
Yes.
Oh, right.
We've somehow inexplicably managed to keep our relationships going. But
it's all right though. I have ticked the divorce box once, so that's good.
oh, you have done that. Yes,
yeah.
So true. That is true. Well, there's a little snippet that some of our listeners may not have been aware of.
Yes.
They're slowly building up the portfolio on us.
That's it, and it would be. I tell you what, one day if we're really struggling for something to talk about, we can do that as a story because that'll make people laugh.
It is a good story. Yeah. I've heard it. It is a good story. Oh, see, you can laugh about it now.
I can. Yeah. Your time is good healer. So, how did we get there from I lost my sticker? For goodness sake.
No. Oh, Johnny, trying to get a mortgage. Yes, you've lost your sticker, you silly person. So
I'll see
perhaps Mr. Smith can furnish you with another one.
Because I think he'd approve of the car.
That's right up his pipe. Yeah. Definitely. Yes. Yeah, if he ever does another event, we need to take it.
Yeah. Because he hasn't, and Smith and Sniff mostly just do live podcasts, even so it's not really an event.
No, it's not really a take your car and have a look at it event, is it? It's a sit in a hall and listen to them record a podcast. It's not really that sort of thing, no. And they're quite often in the evenings in the dark, so it doesn't really make for much of a car show.
Yeah, so. And if you're listening, guys, they're awfully midweek, which is a pain.
That is an issue. Yes, I think we would have perhaps made more effort to attend one to this point had they not always been on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, that is awkward, but
it is tricky.
Well, and I think it's not helped by our location. We do live in the arse end of nowhere in the grand scheme of things.
We are hours away from anywhere they're likely to be doing that. Yes, I grant you.
Yes. Oh dear.
However, all is well on your car front.
Yep. Very good. How about yours? Other than being a bit brown.
Jaguar is absolutely fine. It had its front brakes done last week.
Oh, yes.
So we've got new discs and pads all round, which is lovely. I have had a quote for getting the timing belt done, but I haven't swallowed hard enough to be able to do that yet, if you see what I mean. Not like that.
No. It's a bit of a job with that, isn't it?
It's a bit of a job, and it's quite a big number. Nothing compared to the number it would be if it snapped and wrote the car off, which obviously it would almost certainly do in my case.
Yeah, that's the trouble, because it's a labour thing, isn't it? That's the biggest issue.
It is. The parts aren't much. No, it is the labour. I mean, I talked to the guy, and he said, we've done a few of these. We've done some discos that had this engine, and we've done some XJs that had this engine, and it's a bit of a job. It's the whole front of the engine off.
Yeah, and a reasonable portion of the front of the car comes with it.
Yes, quite. Bumper has to come off, although that might mean it goes back on a bit straighter than it is at the moment. Although it's the rear bumper that's the one that's really wonky. But I don't know. If I do move the car on later in the year, it's kind of a double-edged thing, isn't it? I'm probably going to have to take less for the car because it hasn't had the belt done. Or do I get the belt done and then not negotiate on the price because it's had everything that needs doing done? Things roundabouts, isn't it?
It is, I suppose. Judge it at the time, going, well, yeah. See where the market's at, see what else is out there, and going, well, hedge your bets, and going, well, I think I can flog it without, or I would be better flogging it with, depending on what's for sale at the time and at what price.
Yeah, it is difficult. I'm not quite sure which way that would go at the moment. So that is the only thing left that hasn't been done. Everything else is tip-top. So all ready for your driving experience with it shortly. But
yes, we're tentatively.
We've got a date in the diary for that.
Yeah, we're tentatively saying not the weekend. We're about to go into the following
after
one.
Next. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, indeed.
That does
so that's all good.
Excellent.
Puma is Puma is fine, although it hasn't really moved for a week or so now, but that's just kind of how it's worked out. The Mark 1 Focus situation remains sadly unchanged. I still don't think, and we're into the third week now, I still don't think anyone has been to the property.
Okay.
In fact, I'm almost certain nobody's been to the property. So
no, fair. Well,
yes.
Not much you can do about that then.
Not much more I can do to accelerate that. No, it is what it is. It remains sitting in the long wet grass, and I cringe every time I look at it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's going to dissolve.
Yep. Oh, that's not very helpful, is it?
It's not, but if nobody's been there and I don't know where they live, that's a bit tricky. So
yeah, it's out of your hands. You've done your bit in the short term.
I've done all I can do at the moment. If I should see anybody there, I will make myself known, but I'm pretty sure nobody's been to the property in about 3 weeks now. So I mean, who knows?
Okay,
there it is.
Fair enough. I mean, just keep us posted.
I certainly will. Yeah, well, if there's any opportunity to get my hands on that for, not all the money, and, they're not fetching all the money at the moment, then we'll see what can be done. But, at the moment, not a lot else I can do.
No, so your hands are tied. Good. So, I do have a little something.
Okay.
So
I've heard that.
Haha. Good. So this is something I've neglected.
I could be lots of things, Chad.
That could. No, something car related I've neglected.
Oh, okay.
And it's something that happened a few weeks back now, because I've just it's one of those things. Every time we sat down since, we've either had something to talk about or I've completely forgotten because head like a sieve. So like I said, a few weeks back, Chris was kind enough to let me have a go in his other car.
Oh, you did mention this. Actually.
Yes,
I told you. And then we never talked about it. You're right. Yes,
that's
yeah, we didn't.
The trouble is, I didn't write it down.
Fatal.
Yeah, very, very silly boy. Yes. So went to see him one weekend, and I got to have a go in his BMW Z4.
Ooh. Yes, because you had to go in his Tesla Model Y.
Mm-hmm.
You've had to go in his other vehicle. Yes, very good.
Yes. So that it. I tell you what, I've never even been in one before.
I don't think I have actually. No.
No. There's a friend of mine who had one years back, but the opportunity never even rose to go for a ride in it. It was just one of those things. It wasn't someone it wasn't someone I saw regularly, so it was just one of those things.
Just how it worked out. Yeah.
I tell you what a lovely thing.
I can imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really impressed because it's not take your face off fast, but it's quite quick. Because he's got the 3 litre, so good amount of poke to it. Well,
where are we talking about here?
What is this car? 2004, 2003, 2004.
So I can, picture it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he'll be most upset because I can't remember the exact. Yeah. I'll have a rummage in a second, see if I can find a photo of it, because I'll be able to tell from the plate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what an awful lot of fun for not a lot of money.
Yeah, I can. That's what I've always imagined they are. Yeah.
Because he bought it for a decent amount, certainly not break the bank money, and. Has got grand plans for it, and I approve enormously. So far, he's had a lovely exhaust put on it. that's something that's already been
Nice.
dealt with.
Nice.
Absolutely lovely sound to it. And yeah, it's annoying because it perhaps wasn't the perfect day for a test drive in a rear-wheel drive car with an adequate amount of power.
Was it a bit wet?
It was wet. It was foggy, and the roads were in a right state. He did confess to me that the rear tires could do with changing.
It could get a bit wayward there.
Yeah. Yes. So, but I tell you what I can see why he's got one. I think it's a really solid choice of car, and I think it's because he's got plans for it, modifications. I think it's just what a wonderful platform to start poking around with.
It seems like a good base. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. Doesn't take up a lot of room either.
No, and I tell you what, the one thing that's on the horizon for him is the supercharger.
Oh, that's naughty.
That is naughty. I would hope you buy some tyres first.
Yeah, I'd get that. Yeah, get the grip sorted before that. Yes.
No, I jest. I know, Will, but I thought that was. I tell you what, it's one of those cars that's never really been on my radar. But after having a go, you just go. Ooh.
You sort of dismiss them, don't you, as being a bit kind of style over substance, a bit lightweight, and a bit of a, you're not really, you don't take it seriously.
But trust me, you should. I just, really impressed with it. And I think that could be a top tip for everyone. Just go, I tell you what, don't scroll past them if you see them for sale.
Have a little look.
Have a little look.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was handled really nicely. The grip was a bit iffy, and I didn't push my luck. Someone else's car, who they've already pre-warned me.
That's not the time to test the limits.
No, not at all. But from the drive I had, felt really nice. I tell you what, one thing of note, the gear change was beautiful on it.
Yeah, well, again, you'd sort of almost expect that, wouldn't you? Yeah. The ultimate driving machine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And you can see where they get this sort of name from, because the more BMWs I drive, you realise, they've got the hang of this. They've lost it in terms of design in recent times.
Oh, they have in more recent times, very much so. Yeah, I think everyone's agreed on that.
But that particular era of Z4, that'll be a it's bound to be a Bangle era, that is, isn't it? I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
That, I tell you what, it's a design that's really aged well.
A lot of them have from that era. Even the saloons from that era have. It's funny, isn't it? BMW is one of those brands that, and I've driven quite a few over the years, and I always like them. I'm just not sure if I want to be a BMW person.
I can understand that, and
there's a lot. I've looked at quite a few over the years. I've seriously considered 3 Series Tourings, 5 Series Tourings, the E38-7, all those sorts of things. I've seriously considered a number over the years. I was looking at 3 Series Tourings before I bought the Mini.
Interesting, but I don't know. I think I can see where you're coming from, but I'm past the BMW thing. It's one of those things that we've said it before. No matter what we buy, someone will find something to rib us about for it. And
well, of course, and as we have often said, if we buy something, then it is instantly uncool.
It's I mean, when perhaps not the same level of exposure as Top Gear. No. However, the rules are very similar.
I think amongst the people who know us.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of whether we even own a vehicle, we're quite uncool to begin with.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. So, I think, like I say, coming tarred with the brush and just go, well, yeah, but I've opened myself to ribbing on the Honda front. There's plenty of opportunities for comedy there. And Chris has, well, and you have had the experience too with the Teslas.
Well, I was just going to mention that, and then Johnny Smith has commented on this, that Teslas are technologically incredible, but he personally doesn't want to own one because he doesn't want to be a Tesla person, and I do understand that. And I tried really hard not to be one.
No, and you were doing so well until you told everyone that you owned one.
Right up until the day it was delivered. Yes. It's difficult.
Oh,
it's difficult.
I know, and I'm such a child.
Yes, you are, and it's never going to stop.
No, never. I'm afraid it won't.
No. But
the same thing with the BMW. It's like, well,
yeah, I think it is.
We've already threatened Chris with, we'll buy M badges and stick them to everything you've owned.
Well, exactly. That's the thing, isn't it? And doing the tie with a really big knot and all that stuff.
That's it. And when I went to see him to have a go in it, and he drove initially, and I got in the car, and we got to a roundabout, and he indicated. I went, oh,
well, they work.
Yeah.
Even though it's now widely accepted that that sort of person actually nowadays buy Audis, it's.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they transitioned years ago, but it's never stopped.
It's never stopped. No, I know. That's the thing, isn't it? And you sometimes look at some BMWs, you think, oh, that's a fantastic car. I would, oh yeah, but then I'd have to be a BMW person.
I know, and it's.
I'm not sure I would enjoy driving it. I wouldn't want to be seen driving it. I think that's the kind of thought process.
There's someone around here who's got an M140, and I look at that car and I go, oh, I bet that's fun.
Yeah,
really, because
that's fantastic.
Because they've made slight styling tweaks. A BMW, I mean, not this particular car. There's just those slight styling tweaks because it's the beefier one. You go, do you know what? They've done that really well. It's not over the top. It's really well done. And I just go, oh, I'd love to have a go. And then you go, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have one? And then I was having the conversation with Rob about it, and he tends to agree. It's probably quite a nice car to drive.
Yes.
But he pointed out again, yeah, but have you ever seen an M140 not driven stupidly?
This is the problem, isn't it? This is the problem.
But I don't think, like, if we go back to Chris's Z4, I don't think that same issue of like an M140 attracts a different person than
agreed.
Than a 20-year-old Z4 would.
Not anything like as big a problem with that. No, absolutely not. No, I agree entirely.
And it's difficult because we go back to going. I've had a go in both these cars now. Very appreciative, and go. Yep, it's nice to tick the Model Y off. Form a proper opinion on it, not just be condescending about it.
Yeah, you were genuinely interested in it and wanted to experience it. Yeah.
One. But having now driven his BMW, I go, now that, sign me up for that, please.
You can see why he's got both, though, can't you?
Yeah, he's also got a motorbike as well, so he's covering all bases.
He is covering all the bases. That's a kind of 3-vehicle collection to be admired. To be fair.
Yeah. Something for
they all have a purpose. They all have a very different purpose. They all serve that purpose very well. And I think he's done well with that. Yeah, but that's interesting. The Z4. It's like you say, it's probably overlooked quite a lot. I mean, certainly the prices would suggest that.
It's almost a top tip, isn't it?
It's almost a top tip. I mean, it's kind of if you look at it, it's kind of the classic sports car formula, isn't it? I mean, same thing you could say about, say, the MX-5 or the Honda S2000 or stuff like that. It's the classic sports car formula.
That's it. It's not, so you got, your convertible, your engine up front, rear wheel drive, not too heavy. And I think it ticks all those boxes, really. The
Yeah.
fact that the engine up front is slightly bigger than the other ones you mentioned can
Yes.
only help its case.
Well, indeed. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, so
Has the Stuff and Waffle seal of approval.
it really does. Yeah, really impressed with that car. And I cannot wait to see it develop as a project.
Yeah, interesting. What sort of things has he got to do on it? I mean, clearly it runs and drives. It's not that much of a project.
No, fully functioning. In terms of project, it's more about modifying and upgrading rather than making good.
Okay, cool.
So,
that's good.
Yeah, like I said,
cool.
so it's going to be, I think she said supercharger, some new wheels. I think clutch is very much on the agenda.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, nice thing to watch as that develops. So yeah, so that's good. There you go. I'm so sorry, Chris. That took more weeks than it should have done. But
no, not at all.
Incredibly appreciative of the drive.
Other things on the agenda, but no, that's good. That's good. It's good to sample these things.
Yeah. That was a nice one to tick off. What else have I got? Where's my list? Oh, my OneNote's crashed. You quick, take over, quick.
New electric Land Rover Defender. There you go.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
is there?
Oh, there is, but it's not from Land Rover.
You are.
It's from somebody. Let me explain. It's not like the Ineos Grenade. That's obviously a completely different thing. No, there is a new British company who are making electric conversions of original Land Rover Defenders.
Right, that Defender, not the new Defender. That's where my mind went.
Not that I thought it might. I was deliberately misleading in order to create shock and awe.
That's the one, yes.
Yes. Okay. No, Land Rover themselves aren't doing one, obviously. They haven't got the money for that kind of thing. If they did, we'd have an electric XJ at this point.
Well, yeah, but that's like you say, that might be on the way.
It may come back. It may come back. There is a company called, I don't quite know how it's pronounced, Bedeo, BEDEO is how it's spelled.
Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah.
I'm not sure how they do that. They are taking Land Rover Defenders and turning them electrical.
Okay, I am. For goodness sake, I went straight to their website and thought, well, that doesn't work. Oh, it's with us. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Reborn Electric is where the name comes from.
I am now deaf, courtesy of their website.
Oh dear.
Oh my goodness me.
Has it done a thing?
I've closed that tab because I couldn't. It blew the brain out. Oh dear.
Okay. Well, as a web designer yourself, that's.
Don't tar me with that brush anymore. I don't do that.
No, I know you don't do that anymore. Okay. Former web developer. Let's put it like that. Yes.
That would never happen on my watch. Auto playing music.
No.
Dear.
We mustn't be doing that. They are producing. They are actual Land Rover Defenders, but with an electric powertrain.
Okay.
Is what they are doing.
Okay.
And I mean, we've seen conversions of Defenders before.
This isn't new
territory. Classic cars in Wales have done a few. In fact, they did a Twisted one that was an electric conversion, which was a glorious thing. And of course, they use Tesla powertrains, whereas these guys I don't think are. But what's unique about what they're doing, unlike what others are doing, they're using in-wheel motors. Different kind of layout altogether. So for four-wheel drive, obviously, which the Defender has to be, 4 in-wheel motors, which each produce 80 horsepower, and they say a maximum of 479 pounds-foot of torque. So that endows the car with more than 300 horsepower and nearly 2,000 foot-pounds of torque.
That's plenty, isn't it?
That's certainly going to be an off-road beast.
Not that one of these is ever going to go off-road.
It seems unlikely, doesn't it? Yes, I don't know if we've got a price, but
I would look on their website, but I'm deaf.
But you're deaf now, yes. A 75 kilowatt hour battery, which is a fair old size these days. 22 kilowatt onboard charger. They have been quite careful in the weight distribution, in that the battery and motors weigh about the same as the diesel engine that was removed. So the sort of balancing of it has been quite carefully put together. And obviously with in-wheel motors, the weight of those is distributed very nicely into the corners.
So
it seems to be done on quite sensible principles. And of course, it looks like a perfectly normal Land Rover Defender, although on this launch model that I'm looking at pictures of, they do seem to have put some quite sparkly wheels on it, but it's quite Cadillac Escalade there. Yes, slammed and rimmed, yo.
That defeats the object on a bloody Defender. But...
Well, it does a bit. It's still jacked up to the sky. Don't worry, but it's they almost look like chromed wheels. Perhaps going for the American market there.
I'm just going to have a look at...
Have a little Google and see if you can find some pickies.
I want to have a look at specifically... I'm just going to go Google image search on this because I don't want to go to their website again.
No.
Fine. Yeah, I can see the wheels you're referring to.
There you go. Yes.
But it does make a lot of sense.
No, I think it does. I mean, the EV powertrain lends itself enormously to going off-road. They reckon this will have about 153 miles of range, but of course that's not really what it's about.
No, and let's face it, what it's about is cruising around London.
Probably, yes.
I get the feeling it will be. It's going to be, it's going to go full ULEZ. We'll...
one of those in black with the chromed wheels and
all done.
All done. Yeah, it's going to happen, isn't it? It's going to happen.
Yes.
They'll be parked up alongside the G-Wagons, and there it is. Yeah, and there's an electric one of those coming, as we've discussed before.
We discussed that, and they'll be all over it way before Range Rover ever get there.
It will sadly not be built in the UK. I guess no surprise there. But no price announced yet. But it was just something that caught my eye.
Also, while you're talking about things that catch your eye, I'm sure I did read. I'm trying to find where it came from. There was a rumor that JLR were considering opening up production in India.
Have I seen anything about that? I'm not sure I have, actually.
I can't. It was this week that I saw it, and I think I think the argument for it, assuming it's a done deal or will be a done deal, was the fact that it will help boost local and global sales, or local sales and global exports.
I
mean, you can kind of see what they mean, because you can go, well, if you're building it there, it's easier to get the cars to other places, but
assuming they're building them properly, yeah. Interesting. I hadn't.
Assuming they're building them properly.
Yes,
because the build quality of the ones in this country is superb. Sorry, friendly.
Well, yes, quite. I mean, that's my point. Could this be a boost like the I-Pace that's built at Magna Steyr?
Of course, yeah. That's not.
This isn't new for Jaguar. They haven't built everything at Castle Bromwich for quite a while.
No, and obviously the Indian connection here is obviously Tata, so it makes sense.
Yes. Well, a former British colony,
Oh. Come on, keep up with the times. Oh my goodness me.
You were thinking it. Interesting. I hadn't heard that, but that's not the worst news we've heard about JLR of late.
True. Mind you, as we've made wild assumptions before about this sort of stuff, part of me would assume it would be the L&R bit from that.
Well, yeah, we're not convinced that the J bit of it has a great deal of future, are we? So
no, that's. I think, as we said before, I think they've got one last stab at it, and they need to get it right. Otherwise, that'll be their last go.
We have said that, yes, and yes, I agree. Yeah.
So we will fully support where they're going to go next, but please, for the love of God, do not cock it up.
Don't cock it up. We don't want Jaguar to be another Rover. That would be very disappointing.
No, we can't go in that direction. That's no.
We like a Jag, and we'd like to still have them around if possible. Yes.
Yes, quite.
Okay.
Right. There was something I saw, and this came up. I think it originated on Piston Heads, but I didn't see it there. First off, it was a link that was shared around a few different places, and it was the picture that lured me in. And I looked at it and it's like, oh, it's a Mark 1 MR2. Like, ooh, lovely.
Pop-up headlights.
Oh yeah, nice. Lovely. And saw it and go, well, that's in lovely nick. And it once digging a little deeper, it really was in wonderful condition. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, while it's not delivery mileage, it's low mileage. I think it was mid-30s, I think.
It's not a lot for one of those.
No, not at all. And like I said, just in really lovely nick. And then after going through the photos, I got to the price.
Right.
And well, it was bigger than anticipated.
Okay, because they're not going for big money at the moment.
It was 20 grand.
No, for a Mark 1 MX-5?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, like really pristine, but oh my God, 20? How has that happened?
They're not going for that. They're really not.
I mean, that's worth clarifying. It's for sale for that.
Yes. That's very different to what it'll sell for. Yes.
But still, that's an awful lot of money, isn't it?
That is an awful lot of money. I mean, you've sent me off to Auto Trader here, which is, as we know, one of my favourite websites. And I'm just seeing what I can see here. Well, I'm now on the third page, and I haven't even come to a Mark 1 because they all rust away to nothing.
Well, when I did a little bit of digging, I found prices ranging from about 8 up until 20.
Well, I'm just trying to. Is this no? That's not a Mark 1. The Mark 1, of course, distinguishable by its pop-up headlights.
But Mark 2 had pop-ups as well.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The third gen didn't.
No, third gen didn't. No, you are correct.
Okay. Well, I haven't even found one yet, so that's going well, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does seem like very strong money for one of those.
Yeah, maybe too strong. But
yeah, well, yes, when you consider what else you can get for 20 grand. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just staggered by that.
I mean, they are getting a little bit rare because here's one. Right, I found my first one. A 1997 1.8, got 108,000 miles on the clock.
Oh, hang on, though, 98?
No, 97. It's a P
97. No, that'll be Mark 2.
It's not.
Send me the link. Let me tell you where they've gone wrong.
Well, unless I've gone wrong.
Well,
It
I'll
certainly
tell you
looks
if you've gone wrong.
certainly looks like a Mark 1 to me. But I may have got the dates wrong. Okay, let me send you the link. It's got some horrible wheels on it. They're not original. Where are you? There you are.
There's me.
There you go.
Right, so I'm going in.
Is that not a Mark 1? It looks like a Mark 1 to me.
Well, to be honest, you've sent me an MX-5 there.
Yeah.
No, MR2s we're after. MR2s.
Oh, you see, I completely got that wrong, haven't I?
Yeah.
Well, no wonder I'm wrong then. Right. Okay. Fine.
I don't know.
See, I wasn't really listening to you. I mean, this is the problem.
Take that one away. Right. Now, let me send you one that I've seen.
Edit that out.
I'm leaving that in because what I'm going to do is determine which one of our tired brains got it wrong to begin with.
Yes, you can listen back. Did you actually say MX5?
Did I say MX5 when I meant
entirely
MR2?
Possible.
I don't know. It was only a moment ago, but I've already forgotten. But
it's
fortunately,
entirely possible.
Someone was recording.
Right, Mark 1 MR2s. Yes. Okay. Now these, yes, these are a completely different kettle of bananas, and I happen to love these.
Oh, this is a bit of you, isn't it? Lovely.
I have a childhood memory of these.
Well, there's a lot to be said for that.
Because my dad had one of these as a press car back in the day when they were brand new. It was a D plate, and it was absolutely glorious. And we had a lot of fun in that little car. It was red.
Nice.
Yeah. He will have. In fact, that reminds me, we need to have him back on because he was going to take us through his car history.
Oh, that's true, yeah, because we did the pre-50 stuff with your dad.
We did, and he was going to take us through his own car history, and I believe talk about some of the press cars he had over the years as a motoring journalist as well. So, yeah, we need to do that, but he is away for quite a while now, so it will have to be later in the year. But yeah, we had one of these as a press car. And so I have fond memories of these. Yeah, that's lovely. But having said that, 20 does seem strong for one of those as well. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like I said, it does look good, but £20,000, honestly.
I mean, I guess it's got the nostalgia thing going for it, hasn't it? You know, and that, but even so, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, you never see them, I grant you.
No, they've all rusted away mostly, haven't they?
Although to be fair, the first one I've come to on Auto Trader is 12 grand. But 12 is a lot less than 20.
But it's still not insignificant, is it?
No, it's not.
When you think what
in 89, it's done 83,000 miles.
I mean, you look at them and go, "Oh, do you remember when they were a certain price?"
Yes.
And
it's so incredibly 80s, isn't it? I love that about it.
But it is without being excess, isn't it? Which often happens with 80s stuff.
Yes. That's really nice.
I tell you what, they're claiming it is this wonderful, wonderful thing. I
found one for 7.
I'm just having a quick skim through the MOT history. Because
68,000 miles.
They've obscured the reg, but then if you dig deeper into the photos, they're you can get to it.
It's surprising how often that is the case. They forget to do one.
What's odd about that is, again, right, it's got great history, one owner from... Well, that's an interesting way of saying it. 17 service stamps, but one owner on the V5. But if you look at the MOT history, it's got 2 MOTs.
Right.
What?
That doesn't add up.
No, that doesn't add up at all.
Why would you keep servicing it and not MOTing it?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened there. That is weird.
That is weird, unless it's any of them been driven on private land. on my private test track.
Weird. I don't know. Maybe I need to read the description a bit more. I can't be asked for that.
Found another one in white for 12 grand. Maybe it's not as far out the way as we think.
Okay.
There's the one you're talking about. It's on there, 19995. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is a unfortunate pill to swallow if that is where those values are.
There's one here that has been made to look like a Ferrari 360 Modern. There you go.
MR2s are really, really prime candidates for that, unfortunately.
That happens a lot. Yeah. They were quite rotty, those Mark ones, so they are quite hard to find in decent nick. But yeah, that's a car I have fond memories of. I think they're fantastic.
But not fantastic enough to spend 20 grand on.
No. I could have an XKR for a lot less than that.
You could.
That's where I'd go.
Yeah, I think you'd. Well, yeah, I know you'd go that way.
It's not a surprise to anyone, is it?
I just think you'll have, mind you, I think you'll have bigger builds doing that. I'd just buy the Toyota at that point.
Yeah, you could be right.
Yeah, but let's not apply actual logic to it. That's very silly.
That's no good.
Right. So that was the bit that I was trying to find on my list that I couldn't. I'd save that article. But yes, I have exhausted my rather poorly planned list for this week.
Right. Okay. I am going to finish us off then, not like that, with a little quick fire quiz.
Go on then.
You like a quick fire quiz?
Yeah. I mean, the quiz might be quick fire, but I'm on a delay this evening. Let's go with that.
Yeah, the answers don't have to be quick fire. That's fine. I have pinched this from the Custodian podcast. If you don't know who they are, well, I suppose insurance brokers. Really, you can. They've got this whole thing. Go and look them up.
I know who they are. I appreciate
this is not a
it
paid promotion. I'm not spending time describing who they are. You can go and look them up. They're in the car game anyway.
Yeah.
And I have been. I've listened to a few of their podcasts. They did one recently with Auto Alex. And they at the end of that podcast they did 4 quickfire questions that I quite liked, so I thought, I'll steal those and throw them at my colleague.
Okay, go on then.
So here we go. So there's only 4 questions, so you don't need too much brain power.
I'll do my best.
But the first question was, if all car manufacturers went bust and you could only save one of them, which one would it be?
Good question.
It is a good question. I knew you'd say that.
Yeah.
I knew you'd say that.
But yeah, it's a dead cert really for me, isn't it? So yeah,
it's got to be, isn't it? Really, it's got to be.
That's who I'm saving. I don't need to get that. I mean, my reasonings are very personal. That's the one I'd save because that's the one I like the most, even though I can't afford them.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll get there. Fair. I'll get there. It's not right now, but it will be soon.
Oh, you will get there. Yeah, definitely. No, one day there will be a battered 911 on your driveway. That's just how it's going to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It will have to be quite a battered one. I think, but
there has to be that foot in the door, and then
got to start somewhere.
From there. Yeah,
got to start somewhere. Absolutely. You probably know what my answer is too.
We'll take that as read as Jaguar, shall we?
I think we will. Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, it may come to be a reality sooner for
Jag. Yeah.
Anyway, let's not dwell on that. We'll just get.
God. Right, what we got next? Question number 2.
What is your favourite moment you've ever had in a car? Now, we family podcast.
Right, okay.
So not that story.
Not that story. Okay, favourite moment in a car. It's really interesting because it's probably, I tell you what, it's favourite because of the wrong reasons.
Okay.
And I think it's something we mentioned in an episode early doors. And it's my favourite because I'm still alive to tell the story.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, because honestly, I think it's probably the closest I've come to certain death, where my dear friend Ben was driving, and as I explained at the time, I think in the early episode, that we were youths. We were 18.
Youths.
Yes. And we'd been playing far too much Conor McRae Rally on the PlayStation.
Right.
And that had an adverse effect, because what that has meant, God, we're really good at this game. That must mean we're rally drivers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And as luck would have it, we were at the time in the Brecon Beacons, and
God.
After the game had concluded, we said, well, let's go for a drive. And at the time he had a Corsa GSI, so a stereotypical hot hatch of the era.
It's not a works focus, is it? Let's be honest.
No. And let's be honest, we were doing all right until a hairpin where understeer featured really heavily.
That's not like a Vauxhall.
No, and then there was lots of understeer, there was lots of tyre screeching, there was lots of applying the brakes, and we stopped. I mean, a few inches from a sheer drop.
Okay.
Honestly, we conservatively estimated sort of 100-foot drop.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's all for the wrong reasons, but it's because I'm here to tell the tale.
It's your favourite moment because you didn't die.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a good reason. It's a good reason.
Yeah, and it was one of those moments where it unfolded in slow motion. We took stock of the situation when we came to a complete stop.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, it's a sort of way of going, right, well, what to what degree do we both need new underwear? And it was one of those moments where we didn't converse. Not a word was said.
Didn't need to.
No. We both realised the gravity of the situation, and unfortunately, gravity is a really poor choice of words.
Gravity was key in that situation. Yes.
Yeah, that could have really proved quite dramatic. But yeah, that's my favourite moment in a vehicle because I didn't die. How about you?
Okay. Well, I came up with an answer for this, but I've sort of since revised it.
Okay.
I've exchanged my slightly frivolous answer for one that's like yours, really has a bit more gravity to it. Not like that.
No.
And I'm going to, and actually quite poignant in this particular week. It will be driving my Mini Cooper on the legendary Grand Tour, which for anyone outside of North Devon does not have anything to do with the Grand Tour you're thinking of.
No, that's correct. But I tell you what, I can totally understand that, because not only is it a couple of days of a lot of fun, but for a very good cause as well.
For an extremely good cause, and I'm very proud to have been involved with that over a number of years. Particularly poignant this week because the founder and organizer of that whole thing passed away.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah,
late last week. So, yes, if you're up there somewhere, Terry, respect. But
yeah, definitely.
It is going ahead this year, by the way, in memory of him. Whether it continues in future years or not is all up in the air. But I'm going to say that. Which
excellent shout.
won't mean a lot to anybody outside of North Devon, but
I mean, just Google it.
Just Google it, North Devon Legendary Grand Tour, and you'll find out what it's all about. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. No, very, very good one. That one. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go. So,
number 3.
Next question. We've covered this a few times, but it changes. At least it does for me, and I think it does for you as well over time. So, what is your dream 3-car garage?
Oh, now that does change.
It does, doesn't it? Yes.
Yes, that is very fluid.
Yes.
Okay. So, right this second, it's quite prominent in my mind. So I would say then the relatively newly announced and released 911 992 ST.
I knew you'd have a really specific model of 9.
Yeah. It's just, I've been reading about it. I've watched a few videos about it, and that I can't ignore that at the moment. That's too fresh in my mind, and the want is strong.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah. I would say as well, the one that never fails to go away, there would be a Renault 4.
Of course, basket of eggs and all that. Yeah,
that itch really needs to be scratched.
I don't get that one at all, but I respect your desire for it. Yes,
it's weird. It won't go away. And the fact that the prices are not silly, I think it might just have to happen. Okay.
You might just have to do that on one drunken Saturday night on eBay. Yes,
it's got all of the hallmarks of something that could happen.
It really has. Okay, so that's your 2.
And another one that just won't quit, and especially seeing one very recently, an R33 Skyline GTR.
I do get that one. Yeah, I absolutely get that one. The Renault 4 you can keep, but that one I do. Yes.
Yeah, and it's those. I know the 911 was really specific, and it's a very expensive variant, but it's actually a little bit later down the line. I'm not saying I'm going to have that car. A little bit later down the line, there will be a ropey 911. There will be a Renault 4, and if money allows, there will be an R33 at some point as well.
Yeah, I get that.
They all feel just about attainable. They don't feel like they are out of
one of them's very attainable.
Yeah.
Yes. But one of them you could probably go and get tomorrow.
Yeah.
The other 2, not quite so much.
Not quite so much, no. But yeah, that's where my head's at the moment.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, that's good. That's an interesting eclectic collection.
Yeah, not one of them I would call a sort of proper daily practical, but I just don't give a toss.
No,
as illustrated by my most recent car purchase.
Yes, although that is more practical than any of those. Although I suppose you could. The Renault 4 is practical.
Yeah.
The Renault 4 is practical, to be fair, to a point.
Yeah. But that one. Yeah, but that's where
like a French peasant. Yeah.
Because I look glorious at all other times.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, mine is really difficult because it changes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to say a DeLorean.
Obviously.
I am going to say a Tesla Model S P100D Ludicrous.
Okay.
And I'm going to say a Jaguar XKR of the X150 variant.
Yeah. Okay. All solid choices, and it's a good job I was sat down for the shock of all of those.
Well, I got practical, I got usable sports, and I've got weird. So
yeah,
covered all the bases there.
Yeah. Some really nice choices though. But yeah, it's interesting to see where our heads are at again. We've not strayed too far from the norm, but I suppose if you asked us again in a couple of weeks, it might just be ever so slightly different.
Oh, one of those wouldn't change. The other two might. Yeah.
Actually,
I think the same is true with you, actually.
Yeah, I mean, and if I was having to guess, it's going to be the DeLorean that stays put for you.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
The other two could be a bit more fluid. That's like you. That's something that needs to happen at some point.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so fourth and final
question.
Fourth and final question. Okay, this one's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If you could build your own version or specification of any car, so maybe not a specification that was ever made by the manufacturer, what would it be and what would you do?
Very good. Very good.
There you go. Yeah. There's possibly a whole episode just in that one question, actually. But anyway, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, it's quite a loaded question, isn't it?
There's a lot going on in there. Yeah. I'm not expecting a fully detailed answer because I have just thrown this at you, but you know.
Okay. I do have some initial thoughts.
And it can be anything. It could be bodywork, mechanical, interior, whatever you wanted to change about it.
So, I think where I'd go initially is I would, and maybe we should delve into this a bit more for another episode. But I tell you what,
this has legs. This question has legs. Yeah.
The first thing that popped into my head was, can I take a Subaru Impreza 22B, take all of its running gear, drivetrain, and stick it in an Impreza wagon?
Ooh, naughty.
Don't get me wrong, the Impreza wagons were well-spec'd cars, but
yeah, they were anyway. Yeah.
But to take the ultimate Impreza and go, right, can I have that in a wagon, please?
Can you have that in estate form? Yes. I like your thinking on that.
Yeah.
I really like your thinking on that. Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like just something that's too hard to do. I mean, it's sacrilege to take one of those to bits and do that, but...
True. But nevertheless, in the hypothetical world in which we often live, yes. Yeah. I like your thinking on that. Yeah, I like thinking on that. That sort of thing actually is becoming, I mean, not with that particular car, that sort of thing is becoming quite popular. There is something, as we know, there is something very cool about very fast estate cars.
Yes.
Performance estate cars are just cool in themselves.
Oh, yeah.
I've sort of got one. However,
oh, yeah.
That's not the car I'm going to be.
No.
Because obviously, if money was no object, I'd find myself an XFRS Sport Brake and just be done. But
yes,
that's interesting. You've gone. I like that performance estate. Yes, I like that.
Hmm.
That's very good. I would do something a little bit different with that. I would take. Well, there's two things I thought about here. I thought about taking, making the thing that Jaguar only ever made in prototype form, which was the X-Type R. So as you've seen it, of course, the X-Type estate with the 3-litre V6 from the Mondeo ST220. It would be quite interesting to make that for real. Well, I mean, they made it for real, but you know what I mean. Make my own, because obviously you can't buy theirs. And there was only one. So that would be quite interesting. Mondeo ST220 drivetrain in an X-Type estate. Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah.
And the fact that theirs is a working one as well, that's very appealing.
Well, it's probably not, in terms of packaging, you're probably not too far off anyway, given the X-Type's underpinnings were third gen Mondeo anyway.
Yeah.
We know a V6 will fit in its engine bay, so it would be nice to take the underpinnings of take the engine and gearbox from an S-Type R and put that in an X-Type, so you've got a V8 X-Type estate.
Yeah, now you're talking.
But I suspect the V8 won't fit in the X-Type's engine bay.
No, I would agree that would be a squeeze. But
I mean they never did a V8 X-Type, but it would be glorious if you could take a stage further, have the supercharged V8 in an X-Type. In fact, if you could manual swap it as well.
Oh,
that would be the only car I would need for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that would tick all of the boxes in one go.
Manual swapped 4.2 supercharged V8 X-Type estate. I think
that's a bit of you right there, isn't it?
That's where I would try and find a way to make that happen. It might need some serious modding at the front.
Yeah, but we're assuming at this point going, well, we've got a man for that.
We've got a man for that. Budget no option. I feel budget no object. I think because I was thinking about X100 XKR manual swapped, turn it into a hatchback. But then I thought, no, do you know what? No, that estate. Estate. So V8 X-Type estate. That's where I would go, I think.
Solid choice. And yeah, I'd like to have a go in that.
Yes. Yeah, I think that would be very popular among our group.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, that's some excellent questions.
That is a good question, and perhaps one we should come back to again. But
I think maybe we should revisit that, because I'd like to apply some thought and go just sit with it for a while.
Well, please do give that some thought, and maybe we'll come back to it in a future episode. But I think there's a lot you could do there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good. Well, yeah, that's well listened on that podcast, so that we borrowed a bit of that. We must commend them for their efforts there.
Good artists copy, great artists steal, as we
yes. Yeah, it sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah, I reckon.
Very good. Oh, we've covered all bases this week, haven't we? That's we've got general ramblings. We somehow got onto the logistics of mortgages and marriages.
That's going on. Bit of news.
Yeah, cool. And a car got washed. Very good. Let's see where we end up next week then. That was very good.
Who knows where this could go?
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.